good for evil.
This is the Patriots Prayer Podcast. It's a tremendous show, one of the greatest shows in the history of the world.
This is Bryson Gray, and you are watching the Patriots Prayer.
America's falling, they all say. Gather the faithful now and pray. The Patriots Prayer. The Patriots Prayer. All the wicks are trimmed, oil is filled to the brim. I have to change it somehow. I'm the radical now.
I don't know what's going on with that video, but here we are. Guys, we apologize for all the technical difficulties that we've just incurred. It has been one thing after the other. We typically don't have it go down like this. It's pretty smooth most of every other time. So we were able to get the interview in. You guys are going to hear the interview. Michaelah had a lot to say, like Michaelah always does. And we're going to share some stories and tell you about all the behind the scenes stuff. I talked to a few of you before about this, the ones who tuned in, and we're grateful. We're grateful to have had. Did you see it, Maurice? I mean, did you see it, bro? They really put us on national TV, man.
Yeah.
And it was here. Let's take a look.
Out to see me. So, my name is Michaelah Montgomery. A lot of you guys know me as the girl from Chick-fil-A, but I am so much more than that. Not only do I serve as the CEO of Conserve the Culture, I am also the state director for Blexit down here in Georgia. I'm a Fulton County coordinator for America First Works, and I'm also launching a podcast on the Patriots Prayer Network, so put some respect on my name.
Yeah. Look at all those empty seats, Maurice. Did you see all the empty seats? Because I didn't, and I was there. I didn't. Matter of fact, most of the whole damn thing, I was standing up because somebody sat in my seat, and I really didn't care to sit down anyway. I was behind the stage. Yeah. And that's how it went, dude. That's exactly how it went. I saw people putting out whoever. I don't even want to say his name because I don't want to give him no clout whatsoever. But there's one particular account, right? I follow him to correct him. That's all I do. I follow this guy to correct him, and he put up some disingenuous post showing empty seats in the arena, and he made it out like how Kamala Harris's events really are, unlike this one who was nothing like that. I mean, when we walked outside, Maurice, when I say there were thousands of people, brother, they were thousands of people. When we were walking from the seat to even get up into the tunnels where we could get out the front door and leave, it was crazy. Michaelah was being mobbed, and
rightfully so. So this was one of those moments where you can either fail or shine, and Michaelah shined. She really did. She Absolutely. Hasn't had, or at least as far as I can tell, hasn't had a lot of opportunities like this, and she owned it in every aspect of that speech.
You know
that she
how
had.
few people get opportunities like that? I mean, that's big, dude.
It is. And I think that she's going to go places. I mean, she's one of those people that is built for this. And whether it be by luck or by her preparing for this moment, I mean, in all reality, she has done a phenomenal job. And she created a ton of viral clips that people have been sharing around like crazy on X. And she has gone viral because she spoke truthful things. And in comparison to what the media has been portraying as like what black Americans think about Trump, they really want people to black Americans to detest Trump. They want white Americans to think that black people are afraid of Trump, that they're afraid of the racism and the misogyny and all of that. They believe that the left wing media, which is the overwhelming majority of media, wants everyone to believe that Trump is the bad guy, when in all reality, the Democrats and complicit Republicans, I'll say, the overwhelming majority of our government has been pointed against average Americans, which includes black Americans, for decades now. And Donald Trump has been the only one to stand up against the World Economic Forum, the globalists, the rhinos, the Democrats, the mainstream media, the CIA, the FBI, the Secret Service. He's been standing up against all of that. And there's a reason that he took a bullet for this country, is because he's saying something right. When you go against the narrative, remember what Chuck Schumer said years ago. He said, the intelligence agencies have 6 ways from Sunday to get back at you. And this is one of the things that he meant. There's more than one way to kill a man. You can kill him from his character, and they've been trying that for years now. They've been trying to defame his character. They've been trying to prosecute him with even brand new laws that they just made up to specifically prosecute Trump. They've been trying with that, and it's been failing over and over again. And then the bullet came, and by the luck of God, or I should say by a miracle, in God's grace, Trump was able to turn his head and dodge that bullet. And he's here today with us, saving the country. So,
yep.
I mean, I can't think of a better representative than what Michaelah represented last Saturday. She did a phenomenal job, and just sticking it to the media and saying that, for one, black Americans don't all think alike, and we don't have to go with what your idea of what I should believe. She stuck it directly to the mainstream media and all the Democrats and all the lefties that wants everybody who has a more melanin in their skin to fall in line because they're supposed to be the victim. Michaelah stood up against that.
Did she sound, in the very least, to anyone like she is a victim? That girl is strong, man. That girl is strong. I know more about her than I'll share publicly, but I can tell you, for those of you who don't know, and those of you who trust my word, because trust me, I'm not about to lie to you. And I know this girl. I've known her for a very long time. There's nothing fake about who she is. What she says, she means, and what she means, she says. And she walked up there and she lit the world on fire. And she is, what's crazy to me is that she is the answer. She is the antithesis. And I said this yesterday, to who Kamala Harris is. And that's the reason they hate her. She's the anti-Kamala. She's the anti-Kamala. And she's actually turning that narrative on its head against her. And that's the reason why, even still today, Kamala has not, Kamala, she is the antithesis. Everything is reversed there. Kamala still hasn't answered to whether or not she's actually going to debate Trump. She came on TV. She challenged him out loud, said he won't debate me. He said, I'll debate you. No answer yet from her team. She went into a record store yesterday, Maurice. Yesterday, she walks into a record store and called a bunch of cameras to the front of the store. That way, when she came out of the record store with albums, she can show you, Coltrane and all these older black artists and jazz and all. So look how black I am. Look, everybody. That's essentially what she did. And she's playing that role. She was look, I'm gonna say it too. And you can hate me all you want to. I don't give a damn. She was never black until she was running for president. Every other time, she never said she's Indian. She's the first Indian senator. She's the first Indian. Never was she ever black until she was running for president.
Well, and she's, as far as I know, I believe she's about 75% Indian because her mom's full Indian. Her dad's half Indian, half Jamaican.
No, he's Irish and Jamaican. No, no, I'm sorry. No, sorry, I got that wrong. Indian and Jamaican. You're right. His dad was from Ireland, though, and that's where they went back to. And
okay, 70%. I don't know, but she's majority Indian. She's been celebrating that her entire life, and all of a sudden, now that they want to cater to the black vote, she's claiming to be black, and it's sickening. And I mean, people really need to understand that this is next level pandering, and also just the fact that nobody really voted for Kamala. Nobody wants Kamala. And they can try to artificially pump her numbers up as much as they want. She is not a popular candidate. Because now that all of the artificial support, I mean, she's already peaked. She's going to go downhill from here. It's the same way Tulsi Gabbard took her out back in 2020. Yeah, 2020.
Yeah.
She has a horrible record. And when she speaks on her own, she is terrible. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The first time she spoke off of script in front of the cameras was next to Joe Biden in front of that helicopter. And I mean, it goes downhill incredibly fast. Were you going to show a clip?
No, that was me queuing up the interview so that I could.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I gotcha. So yeah, we do have the interview. We actually had to record it. So that way, we're going to play it for you guys. And we're trying to get more people in here.
See, I'm telling you, she's unfiltered in this interview. She's uncensored. She's getting some things off her chest. If you got kids,
her podcast is going to pop off, man.
Bam,
her podcast is going to be lit. And I would love to see her. Well, I would love to see her debate some people that I've gotten into debates with, because there's been a lot of people who I've tried to reach out to the black community over X a lot of the times, and it's not as well received as I thought it would be.
Have you shared this link?
Yes. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, it's out. It's out there.
Just making
sure.
So
yeah, it's going to be on I changed my profile pic, and then I decided that I didn't want that profile pic, but it took like 5 days to get my blue check reviewed. And if you guys didn't know that profile picture where I had, it was like the red tint with the blue eyes. I don't know. I thought it was going to be cool. It turns out I didn't like it. And I really don't want that to be like the lasting memory, because so many people did it. But so I changed it back today, and I don't know when I'm going to get my blue check back. I hope it's soon. I reached out to him, and it's just a process. And unfortunately, you're not allowed to stream on your profile when that happens. So I'm hoping people join us on Rumble and can see this, because it is difficult to transfer from X to Rumble. I mean, people
very much so.
Well, plus the algorithm itself shuts that down. So whenever you post a link in a post, the algorithm suppresses it as much as possible, because X as a company doesn't want you leaving their application. They want you to stay in the app.
So. If I own the app, I wouldn't want it either. I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
I understand, but at the same time, this difficulty in losing the blue check and all that, I think that some of that can be fixed. But I'm going to warn the followers about what we're getting ready to do coming up starting Wednesday. On Wednesday, when we go live, we will be on X. We'll be on there for 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes of the show.
I don't know if I'll have my blue check by then.
Yeah, but on X, we will be doing the first 30 minutes of the show there. And then if you want to catch the last half of the show, you got to come over to Rumble. I don't think people understand how bad we want you guys on Rumble.
Yes.
If you're there, go there. Go to Rumble, please. That's where we want you guys. We want you on Rumble.
Hey, hold up. Did you know that you're not even live on yours? Your X?
Yeah, I'm live. I'm looking at it right now.
Is my internet crazy?
Yes.
It doesn't
Yes, it
show
is.
that you're live at all.
No,
Oh,
I'm looking.
okay. Never
seeing
mind.
it.
I see it. It's just not around your profile picture like it usually is. Usually it says live around your profile picture. I'm not seeing that at all.
Well, we had Michaelah on, and there's some deep state stuff happening. Probably, who knows? That's why we've had all these technical difficulties all of a sudden when we've never had them before. We've never had them before. How many shows have we done? I mean, I think we're around 400, 500 shows or more. A lot more actually. What am I talking about? Yeah. So yeah, I see the same thing you're talking about right now, and you're right.
Yeah.
There's nothing around my name saying that I'm live, when in fact, I'm very live.
Which is odd. But I had to scroll down and find your the live video itself. But that's weird because it should be updating all of your followers that you're live. And this is one of the things that X really struggles with. Okay, yeah. So Silver Bell is she's watching on X. My internet is so garbage here. It is annoying.
Well, let me tell you, the deal is this, all right? I know we've had some technical difficulties, and they won't even if I were to try to, it won't even let me share it. This is strange, dude. This is very strange. So guys, if you're watching, for some reason, I can't share the link. So if you're watching this, share it, please. For some reason it looks like all of a sudden we're being suppressed. I hate to say it, but
I don't know. I've gone through, I complained a little bit today on X because I've gone through 3 straight weeks of literal like plummeting in my numbers. Yeah. I mean, to the point where like I've been stuck at like between 112,300 and 112,500 for the last like week and a half. Like I haven't grown, my channel hasn't grown at all, which is very different because for the last year and a half, I've had fairly consistent growth with spurts of rapid growth. But I've never experienced where everything is just plummeted like crazy for an extended period of time. Like normally it'll be like a week and I'm like, maybe I'm posting bad content or something like that. But no, it's been weeks of just a straight downfall. And it's gotten to the point where it's like I have 1 million impressions over the course of a week, which to me is crazy because on average I post at least 10 times a day, like unique posts of mine. Mm-hmm. And with 100,000 followers, you'd think that it'd be more than
yeah.
I mean, that's it's not much, but yeah, it's so I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but it is what it is. You persevere. It's frustrating at times because I work. I mean, it's one of those things where like it frustrates me because I know that there's so many political accounts that post nothing, and I don't know why they get so much traction. And whether it be left-wing or right-wing accounts, it's the same thing. It's like what do you notice? It's like clickbait garbage, or the left-wing accounts especially bug me, but I understand how like anti-Trump people are, that they really get involved. Like I had a troll kind of comment on my post. He's not even really a troll. He's just like an anti-Trump zealot. He commented on one of my posts in saying that something about oligarchs and the government, blah, 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 basically anti-Trump BS.
Yeah.
I clicked on his profile and I went to go look down his wall, and every post for, 10, 20, 30 posts down, it's all anti-Trump. I was like, oh my gosh, like, dude, you need to find yourself like a hobby or something. Like, don't you have anything else going on in your life rather than just Trump?
Trump derangement syndrome. That's what
yes,
it is.
Like I like Trump and I don't obsess about him that, like, if you looked through all my posts, Trump is not mentioned very much. Like I will mention him, but it's not every single post. Like, these people are actually deranged, and they have this like, I have to put, he's the Hitler of our age and he's a tyrant, and so they obsess about it constantly. It is crazy. So in a way, I kind of see why these left-wing propaganda accounts. Oh yes, yeah, yes. The projection is. I mean, that's definitely there.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine start. It was somebody I debate with often about this subject, and he goes on about the morality of Trump and all that. I'm like, oh yeah, but you're a Biden supporter, so I will support if you're saying that he slept with Stormy Daniels or whatever, right? That's how they try. I'll support the adulterer over the incestuous pedophile who showered with his daughter. Come on, dude. Are you really comparing apples to apples here? Listen, and we don't even know that about him anyway. That's the whole point of that situation. It has never been stated with any certainty what exactly happened. These people make logic leaps, and the left is great at convicting you of thought crimes. Well, he's a racist because of what was in his heart. What he was thinking. What his intention behind that was. They take so many logic leaps in order to believe and say the things they say. It's absolutely amazing to me. It's sad, really. It is completely sad that that's the way it is. I don't feel, listen, when I was less than, I want to say 10 feet from the guy, probably less than 10 feet, he walked right by me, and I seen his aura. Like, no, he had it was an orange aura. You should have seen.
You gotta have more. There was Cheeto dust coming behind him. It was crazy.
Beautiful aura. But listen, everything he says and everything he's done up until this point, what he's been, what he said, is 100% right. And I'm sorry that the little beta male vegan types that are out there in the world get their feelings hurt, because we're looking at what we're looking at. I like what Chris Webby called it, revenge of the nerds. They have the ball right now, and all of the sick, demented, twisted, just let's call grooming people with a twisted LGBTQ agenda that want to indoctrinate your children and preach racism and all of these things. They don't want anyone stopping them. Look, they went so far as to cause so much rhetoric that the president almost was killed on national TV. It's time for these people to wake up and realize they are everything they pretend to be fighting against.
Hold on. So this guy apparently was in the projection. He was saying that he was talking about us. So I would like to, I'm going to show you something, Guy, and it's just going to be I can give you an example of the kind of things that I go through.
He's been in here. He's been in here before. It's been in here before. I don't know what it is. But
well, so I made a post earlier today, and I said, have you guys ever heard, I'm just going to read it kind of verbatim here really quick. Have you guys ever heard the old Cherokee story, which I was told that this actually wasn't Cherokee. That was just my understanding that it's a Cherokee story, but the origins are, who knows. Anyways, about how everyone has two wolves inside of them. Well, it goes like so. An old man told his grandson, my son, there's an endless battle that goes on inside of all of us. It is between two wolves. One wolf is bad. He is anger, envy, regret, greed, arrogance, resentment, lies, superiority, and ego. The other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The grandson thought about it, then asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? The old man answered, the one you feed.
That's right.
And so I go into a little bit just basically talking about, like, I have a wolf tattoo on my chest, right? And this is the good wolf, and I put it over my heart because, and it's kind of a constant reminder of what wolf I'm supposed to be feeding. That everybody has evil and good inside of them. And under that, I had posted this beautiful meme. I said, well, then there's also this. Inside you there are two wolves. I hate government. Lol, same. And so this guy had posted, except when it's propping up oligarchs, taking away women's rights, invading countries for oil. Shall I go on? And I was like, all right, this guy doesn't really sound like he's agreeing much with me. But, you know, you go to his profile and let's see what we have here. A Montana citizen. Okay, he's got nature in there. Could be based. Maybe he's just disagreeing with what I say. Oh, Trump. Okay. Oh, Trump. Oh, Trump. And, okay, this isn't Trump, but it's close, right? Donald Trump again. And I mean, you go down his profile wall and it's all obsessing about Trump. So how in any way is this projection when I'm literally explaining to you the scenario that happened? And so I said, you should really find something else to post about. You have an obsession with Trump, which he does. I mean, it's a very, very common theme. Of course, I didn't mention Trump. Okay, well.
But let's address his statement here. He says Trump is a pathological liar. So obviously he doesn't like liars, right? You don't like liars? Well, here are some notable lies that your guy Biden told. Falsehoods about the Georgia election law, misleading information and claims about the COVID vaccine rollout, claims that about the economy and that he created 6 million jobs and he didn't. It wasn't even close. And all the jobs that he did create went to illegal immigrants. Misleading statements about the border situation over and over again. Don't forget about the corn pop story. False claims about misleading from the withdrawal from Afghanistan, which killed 13 American citizens. He was willing to undo all of Trump policies, but he said we had to leave because Trump said we had to. And in the meantime, 13 soldiers died because of what he did. False claims about driving a tractor trailer. False claims about his involvement in the civil rights movement and marching in Selma. And I could literally go on and on and on.
His uncle was eaten by a cannibal, don't you know?
Yeah, yeah. So, Guy, I don't know what you are. I don't know what agenda you have. I don't know what you believe or what group you're from or who you actually support. But I could almost guess. Without ever having to meet you. I could almost guess. And,
well, that's one of the things that actually my wife and I were talking about this weekend, because in a lot of ways, like I can fully explain like the lefty kind of members in my family, right? I can explain all of their positions and why they believe them, right?
I guess he identifies as a woman. He identifies as a woman. All
right, cool. Like I understand why these people believe what they believe, because like him or her repeating the rhetoric saying that Trump is a pathological liar is a statement that's been repeated by the press several times, when you should understand that everybody in the government has been lying to you for the past several decades. For my entire life, they've been screwing people like you and me over. So you should start with the basic understanding that politicians are going to lie to you, and that you should take their actions more seriously than their words, right? So what did Trump actually do in his time? Okay, was he a dictator? When there were over 100 days of straight riots during the George Floyd protests, did he enact the National Guard? Did he bring down martial law on these people? No. How many people suffered because he wouldn't do that? A lot of people were calling for him to take more action on these rioters. Chop area in Seattle, Washington. They took over 6 square blocks of Seattle where there were countless rapes. There were countless rapes. There was an execution style murder of 2 people, by the way, people who fled both there.
Both black.
Teenagers, yes. Teenagers believing that they were fleeing to a safe zone, who had stolen a vehicle, drove it into the Chop area, and the security there executed them on the spot. They shot over 300 rounds into the vehicle. And you want to tell me that those lives could have been saved if he would have taken a harder stance against it, but he didn't. So he wasn't a dictator. He didn't start any new wars, so he can't be a warmongering criminal, right? He walked into the demilitarized zone into North Korea with zero security. You want to talk about actions speaking louder than words? Let's hear what Biden has done as far as actions speaking louder than words. Because I don't care what they say. I would rather see what they do. And Biden has crashed the economy now, and he's allowed millions and millions of people into our country that we have no idea who they are, and it will cause chaos. There will be hardship because of this. They know for a fact that they're trafficking women and children across the border into known sex slave rings. Okay?
Exactly right.
Where
86,000 kids.
At a minimum. That was a statistic from 2 years ago. Two. I want to say it's 2 years ago. So
you're right.
When you're talking about what Trump says as being a pathological liar, and I bring up what he has done, there's no comparison between what Trump has done for this country and what Biden has done to this country. It is very different. So yes, I go into, like, when I look into politics.
Look. This is how you and oatmeal brains have a lot in common, dude. The economy is doing great. Are you kidding me? The Republicans are not in charge, you weirdo.
Fuck Republicans. I don't give two shits about Republicans or Democrat. Okay, first of all, that's the first thing that you need to get out of your mind. Okay? Because I am a citizen of this country. I'm a patriot of this country. I love this country. So I am not going to shackle my name, my independent thought to a team, be it Democrat or Republican. I don't care what they say. I don't care what label they have next to their name. If they're doing good things, I'm going to say that they're doing good things. As of right now, yes, I agree with more Republicans because there are some people in the Republican Party actually fighting for this country. I don't care if they're Democrat. Like, that is the craziest thing to me. You know, this is the problem with not ever speaking about politics or religion when you're growing up, because then you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about later in life. And all of a sudden you hop into a chat thinking you're Mr. Know-It-All. Oh, the Republicans are in charge and doing this, blah, 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 this and that. No, nobody gives a shit about that. What is actually happening? Excuse me. Most of the Republicans over the past couple of years haven't done shit. They sit on their hands. They don't actually do anything. Okay? Trump didn't stop the bipartisan border bill. Do you know what that border bill did? That border bill legalized exactly what they're doing right now. They were going to spend more money into funneling more people into our country. It had nothing to do with border security. It had nothing to do with actually screening these people to make sure that they aren't on known terrorist watch lists. You guys, this is the kind of stuff that Eddie and I deal with every single day. Because there's so many people who speak like this, just saying the economy's doing great, just a blanket statement like that. $35 trillion in debt, whatever the fucking stock market's just plummeting right now, and these people just believe that they're actually speaking the truth because they heard it on the news. They're like, it must be true. No, wrong. Good job at being a parrot and repeating the rhetoric you hear. But no, the American people, fuck the politicians. The American people have been screwed over far too long, and you're too worried about Democrat or Republican and making some gotcha moment and proving a damn point here. No, we're building a network of patriots to stand directly against that bullshit and claiming that Republicans are on your team, because most of them aren't. Most of them have been screwing you over, have been screwing me over. Everybody in this country, they've been screwing over because they get their money. They get all of their back deals with Lockheed Martin and Big Pharma and all of these people that they've been just getting unlimited amounts of money for to go work for them after they're out of politics, or vice versa. It is insane to me that you want to come here and you think that it's a good idea. Oh, yeah, NASDAQ and Dow hit all-time highs. Good job. Yeah, $35 trillion in debt. That's what inflation does. It will never stop going up because the value of your dollar, you being able to spend any kind of money to buy a burger, to buy gas, That doesn't count worth shit anymore. That's why it's so expensive to everything. So congrats on the NASDAQ being high. Records, all-time high. Good job. Yeah, now you can't buy anything.
You can't even go to McDonald's anymore without spending $40 on 2 meals. You know, and that's a complete Biden thing. The Biden Inflation Reduction Act, where he spends trillions of dollars to reduce inflation. You people are airheads. And
what about the green new deals that we've been experiencing? What about the $9 billion spent on 8 charging stations?
Yeah,
that caused inflation.
Forcing everyone to go to EVs when it's not even, our electric grid isn't prepared for it. It's not ready for it. Then you wouldn't be able to travel. And just not get into the weeds on it. But essentially is this. You people don't know what you're talking about. The only thing you know is that you hate America and you'll do anything to tear it down. You'll talk bad about corporations. You'll talk bad about government. But at the end of the day, you have no answers. You have no answers of what you want it to be, what you want it to look like. How is it going to be better? You come with no ideas. All you do is bitch and complain. So what's going to happen? We're going to run you over, because now that you've backed the conservative side into the corner and we have nowhere to go but to come out fighting, you guys have no idea of the giant that you've awakened. You have no idea of the amount of actual patriots, not Republicans and Democrats, but real patriots. People that have bled for this country, fought for this country, and people that support those who bled and died for this country. And believe me, if Donald Trump would have gotten shot that day and he would have lost his life that day, you would have prayed within 24 hours. You would have been praying that it didn't happen, because what would have happened in the streets following that would have made the summer of love look like a freaking family picnic. It would have been so bad. So listen, you have no answers. You don't know what you're talking about. And all you do is come in with vague generalities of people lying or not telling the truth or that being wrong, but you can't point out the lie. You have no answer for any of the things that I or Maurice just said to you, except for to say little. You do? All right. I'll do what I tell you. Every single lefty that comes on the show that talks the way you do, accept the debate live. Accept the debate live and let's talk policy. Let's talk specifics. If you actually think that you have it, bring it. Put up or shut up. Because I guarantee you don't know. You're going to come in here with all kind of propaganda. I've embarrassed others just like you. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, and beyond that, you see me on X, DM me. If you want to set up a debate, DM me, and believe me, we'll get that done. In the meantime, I'm going to move on to Michaelah's interview, and because that's what these guys showed up for. And let's see. Guys, I've waited for this. I wanted to bring her on live. We had all these technical difficulties, but I made it work, and we recorded it. We did a screen grab on OBS. We did the interview, and we're going to bring that up and play it for you right now. Prior to doing that, we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back with the interview right after this.
Born in the coastal plains of South Texas, Smoking Gun Coffee is founded by combat veterans that know exactly what a cup of coffee needs to taste like. Run by father and son, each coffee bean is perfected, roasted at 500 degrees, and cooled with a Gulf Coast breeze. Smoking Gun Coffee hand makes and bags each ounce of coffee for maximum customer satisfaction. With every purchase, 10% goes back to organizations that help veterans and local communities. That's Texas made, one bag at a time. To find out more, go to www.smokingguncoffee.com.
So guys, with that, I'm going to jump right into this interview. She's very unfiltered, uncensored, and just her normal self, man. And I love her to death for it. And here she goes.
Trying to get into some light.
I just unmuted it. I know we were trying to go live on the other channel and we had a little bit of technical difficulties. It happens, especially when we're trying to use phones and things like that. It occurs, but screw all that. Listen, we've been getting crazy amounts of hits. Like, people are going berserk And I've gotten people offering me to put you in movies. They're like, hey, I want to put her in my movie. We work with the Trump campaign. We did this documentary. We did that documentary. I got other shows just contacted me from other media companies that have interviewed Trump. We got so much other stuff to talk about. It's not even funny. People wanting to donate to conserve the culture, trying to contact me, trying to hit you up. It's amazing. But we didn't really have a whole bunch of time to talk after that night, that day when you went up. And I wanted to ask you, what was going through your mind when you walked on the stage?
Oh, that this is my moment. That the world will know that I'm Beyonce. Yeah, no, I knew what I was about to do. I knew. I actually reached out to the campaign 2 days prior, just 2 days prior, and I said, what are the odds of y'all letting me speak on Saturday? And they were like, oh, let me consult with a few other people. And then they were like, hell yes. And I was like, well, watch this. And I wrote my speech that night. I had it to them by 6 a.m. the next day. Hey, does this look good? They didn't ask me to change anything. The only thing they said was, try to keep it between 3 and 5 minutes. And then they were like, really, 3 minutes? And I was like, So then, I read it, as fast as I could without it being too, jumbled. And I was like, all right, I'm timing at 4:47. But I knew with the applause and stuff, it was going to take me well over that. So,
they didn't want you to stop. I was there.
No, because I watched my time around, and I was like, they don't have to drag me off this stage. Because, my God.
So,
everybody
I didn't have an opportunity to talk to you when you walked away, because Marjorie Taylor Greene walked out, and then they took you the other way. And then I'm left standing in the hallway by myself. Now, I'm not supposed to be in this hallway. I know for a fact they're getting ready to bring Trump through here pretty soon. And I'm sitting back there like, what do I do? Like, what tunnel do I walk?
Holding on to his ear.
I walked like this. I walked out like this.
He was like, yeah. No, we're good. I'm like, girl, you want your secret service?
True stuff, too. And then they walked over and gave me here's the funny part, right? So I'm doing this for a minute. And then they walk over and give me a wristband and like, here, you need this to be here. And I'm like, I did all this for nothing, right? They was probably laughing at me the whole time. But
it's the confidence, Eddie. It's the confidence, and I'm really supposed to be here. But
that's exactly what she did. That's exactly what she did when she walked on that stage. It was that kind of confidence. You were supposed to be there. She said, "Thank y'all for coming to see me." I said, "Goodness gracious."
It is actually incredibly cool to see you be able to have that stage and you take that moment and utilize it the way you did. Because, as far as Twitter goes, or X now, you lit X on fire because you were willing to say all of the forbidden things that are kind of behind the scenes, and everybody jokes about it, but you said it on stage in front of everybody, perfect delivery. You really nailed it. That was your moment, and you hit it hard. So I hope that you have many, many more moments, because you're built for that. You're built for that kind of spotlight. And it's amazing that you were able to get on that stage and just, knock it out of the park first try.
And you should have seen the hard time we had the day of getting in there. And it just proved that God does things and you think everything is going wrong, and it's going exactly the way it was meant to go. Because we went back to the hotel, we took a lift back. She was on the Jumbotron outside the thing. I'm like, how am I going to get in? And the Secret Service said, you, come here. And I'm following people. Or I don't know who it was with the earpiece. It was a state director or something.
Yeah, I had to send somebody to go get you.
Yeah, it was a state director. So I walk in the back, and they take me down. I'm looking at people in the lines. Her other friends that went with us, they're like, where are you going? I'm like, this way. I went with them. So, we went through hell that day to get back there. And it happened exactly the way it was supposed to. She called me on the phone, and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I was like, bet, I got something for you.
Oh, a surprise that I never had. Like, you know me, Maurice. I'm not a starstruck person. But everybody who watches this knows I love Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, I love her. It's it. I love her. Plain and simple. I think she's the shit. Plain and simple. She speaks her mind. Everything about her, I like. And I walked in the room.
One of the things you realize is that I mean, somebody like Michaelah and Marjorie Taylor Greene aren't separated by that much. It's just the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene has been at this for a while and has really honed in her expertise on what needs to be said. Michaelah, you said exactly how it's supposed to be said and what needed to be said before that rally. It was a beautiful thing. But really, conservatives are now getting platforms that they were never able to really experience. And now that we're starting to see conservatives actually have a platform and be able to speak, people are going to realize that, oh, this is actually the place to be. This is who I want to be aligned with. These free-thinking patriots, these people who actually love this country and are not afraid to speak the truth. The left has been walking on eggshells for so long, and it's made independents and regular people feel like they have to walk on eggshells. But when you have the truth on your side and you boldly speak it, it's going to create waves, and you're doing it.
They're gonna love you. They're gonna love you or they hate you. And hey, it's hard to hate me.
But I tell you what, let's talk about that for a second, because I received a lot of the hate on the post. Oh my God, it's amazing. People lied so much.
There's no such thing as somebody who doesn't like you.
People lied so much though. They talked bad about everything. They even said, like, I knew that what they were saying was wrong. One person said, essentially something about, well, what was she expecting from them? No, also, only thing that she was expecting was a bunch of liberal douchebags to say ignorant things. Thank you. And that was it. Because I knew exactly where the person was going. But you're genuine. You weren't there to promote much of anything else outside of Donald Trump, who called you and asked you to be there. And his team.
No, I called him, asked him to let
Oh yeah, see, that's the honesty. That's the honesty, right? That's the honesty right there. So these people that you have alternative motives and all this kind of stuff, we all have things that we want for ourselves. We all have a reason that we do whatever it is that we do on some level. But you believed in it.
How people can't believe that somebody might genuinely care about, their community, mine being Black people, and just seeing how we're being played with every single day. Like, I watched the entire National Association of Black Journalists interview, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. But the way that it was portrayed in urban media, and therefore the way it was received by the masses, was disgusting. And the fact that nobody took it upon themselves, because like the tagline will read, Trump is rude to panelists who simply asked him if he was racist.
Wow.
No, y'all got up there and gave an entire description about how he is racist. Like, you guys led the question in a way to make him look bad, in a way that, yeah, now you have to defend racism, and it should have never been that. And then when he said, like, this is really rude, I came here in good spirits. You guys said my opponent would be here. She's not, but I still came here to talk to you guys, knowing that some people in here might not like me. And nobody acknowledged the fact that he at least showed up, without any handlers or anything like that, people in his ear. He really showed up to have the conversation. Yeah. And instead of taking that time to talk policy and what plans he might have for the Black community and to clarify certain things that have happened in the past, all they did was use that time to bash him. And I thought that was
that's disgusting.
They did the same thing to Candace Owens at Revolt. Like, nobody let Candace Owens speak, and I think Candace Owens is one of the greatest minds that we have in conservative media. I wish I could be as classy as her. I know pieces of her are like, all right, Kayla, clean it up, but good job. Yeah. However, it's just like the fact that, they would tear down somebody like this and then not give them a chance to defend themselves. But these are the people who scream equality, equality, equality.
Intolerance,
Intolerance. Y'all want to be equal and tolerant when it's like boys being girls and girls being boys. Y'all don't want to be equal and tolerant when it comes to political opinion. Y'all don't want to be equal and tolerant when it comes to letting the village help you raise your child. Like, people don't take advice when it comes to their children like they used to. All these girls want to fight the second you tell them, hey, I used to do this, so my child was, ooh, is you telling me how to raise my kid? It's like, okay, like, it never used to be like this. And Black people get so mad when people say things like, oh, we were better under Jim Crow. But if you look at Black people as a whole and how we carried ourselves and how our family was structured and what our communities looked like under Jim Crow, sucks to suck, but we were doing better. Because now all our dudes sag their pants, all our girls just twerk and, talk about getting abortions. All of our kids don't know if they're a he, she, they, them, it, that, bug, frog, log, and none of that. And I just think like, what in the world has the world come to? And so for me to be a mom and see these things and pay attention to these things, and I care about the community my daughter would grow up in, and I'm a single mother at that. I have nobody out here besides me. It's just me and my baby. So if something happens to me, I would want to die peacefully knowing my daughter will be taken care of. I do not feel like as of right now, so as a whole, the Black community would take care of my daughter. Luckily, the community I created, the village I created myself, yes. But as a whole, I can't trust them. Not even in my own neighborhood. All the kids cussing and twerking. Where are y'all parents at?
Well,
So, you know, these are the things that matter to me, and these are the things that are important. And I was luckily and fortunate enough to have two parents who, I mean, can I cuss on here? I had two
yes,
parents.
it's
who gave a
unfiltered.
fuck.
It's
All right,
unfiltered.
yeah, I had two parents who gave a fuck. So I just don't understand this new normalcy where it's like, yeah, don't care about nothing, live for today. Like, I was thinking about YOLO literally 15 years ago. YOLO was 15 years ago. That's nuts. We got to stop playing with our lives, stop playing with our future, because at the end of the day, like, we're going to get old, you know? And so I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about my kid. I'm thinking about the additional kids I hope to have when I find me a husband. So, hey, y'all. I'm the king.
You had enough offers. You had enough offers from the time you got off that stage to the time we got to the car. You probably had a good 3 or 4.
They didn't tell me. So y'all go spin the block and tell me again. But I do have to get back inside y'all. So it has.
Well, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you.
Maybe one more question. I got one more answer for you. Go ahead. What's the pressing one?
Well, here's the thing, right? Trump said he's going to do anything to help you, right? And I said to you what I said. You missed the opportunity because you should have said, I'm coming. I need you to come on my podcast when I have it. So the question is, and that everybody else wants to know, is Trump coming on your podcast?
I will do everything I can to get him here.
And when, because we're ready. I got your Brandon ready and everything. So give these guys an idea of when you're going to be ready to shoot your first podcast.
I'm aiming for the week of the DNC. I feel like I have a lot to talk about that week. So I'm hoping that that's when it'll come out. I know that the days I'll be paying the most attention will be the 20th through the 22nd. So yeah, hopefully by then, let's fingers crossed.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do everything in my power, and I know Eddie's going to do the same, to help set you up as much as we can financially. I mean, we don't have a lot of money, but we can help set you up with some, microphone, a camera, things like that. So we're going to do our best to get everything we can over to you.
That's happening.
And
she knows that.
Yeah, that's definitely happening. So we want to set you up for success. You're one of the patriots in this country that obviously is really good in front of the camera, and you need to have your voice heard. So we're looking forward to having you start your podcast, especially on the Patriots Prayer Network. Love you, Michaelah. Thank you so much for coming on.
We'll talk soon.
Alrighty.
All right, bye-bye. So guys, Michaelah Uncut. That's what it is, Michaelah Uncut. And that's really who she is, on camera, off camera. That's who she is. You know? Wild. How can someone that tells so much truth receive so much hate?
You know, that was I will say that's actually one of the hardest things that I kind of had to learn jumping into this political sphere, is that people are going to hate you just for the sake of it, just because they perceive you on the other team. And so they dismiss all of the commonalities that you have and attack everything that they believe that they should, because you're deemed the other. And Michaelah has definitely gotten that in these past couple of days. I mean, realistically, she is a patriotic American, and is one of those people standing up for the values. I mean, she's a single mother who should be held in high regard. And I mean, these are the people that we really need to reach our hand out and help, if you can, is the single mothers, because I mean, the children are our future, plain and simple. And if she's trying to do the right thing by raising the child to be actually patriotic and loving of this country and not believing that they're a victim and not participating in the culture of twerking and being a gangster and the black the specifically American black culture that has been infiltrated and destroyed by this gangster hip hop kind of culture, which in many ways has actually gone on to the Native American community as well. Because I have plenty of family that they do the same exact thing. They dress like gangsters. The problems on the reservations are the exact same as they are in the inner cities. It's these kids believing that they found their home in this gangster culture, and they jam out to the rap, and it's disgusting and it's poisoning.
It's like, and you're signing up to be a part, play a big role in your own demise or destruction.
You really are.
And you don't believe that you can be more, that you can do more, that you can rise above. It's easier just to hate, tear down, destroy, and play on that kind of situation. So at least if you can't be strong in how you take care of your family, your community, build yourself up, to get a better job, a bigger house, do better. Then if you can't do that, then guess what? Then nobody else should have it either. And I'm going to hate everyone who does better than me. Everyone who dresses better than me. Everyone who talks better than me. Everyone, period. This is what they are. They are the anti that Dan Bongino talks about. Anything that is not them, they hate. And if you stand for anything, they will stand against it just because you stand for it.
Yeah, that's the truth. And I mean, realistically, I've come a long way in learning how to deal with this. And I've worked really hard to try and find commonalities despite, and trying to any of the lefties or people that perceive me as being on the opposite team. I do try to find some commonalities. Like even in my rant earlier, right? I'm painting him as being part of the same team because I believe that he is. He may be ignorant or he may be evil. I'm not sure which one, but I have to give the ignorant a chance in order to, and I'm not saying that I'm smarter than everybody. It's just, I'm saying that I could probably more than likely explain why he believes all of those lines that he's repeating, because I know where they come from and I understand how people fall for them. Like I get it. If you don't dig into it, and you don't have that drive to reach further and be skeptical of everything you hear, as opposed to just what your team said or what the other team says. Like he has a great deal of skepticism for the other team. I have a great deal of skepticism for all of them because I picture all of them being against me and against that guy.
Exactly. And that's the part that they don't understand, right? Mm-hmm. When you take an individual and see them as an individual instead of an entire group, like you represent, I don't represent all white people. I don't represent all natives. You don't represent all natives, and you don't represent all white folk. I represent Eddie, right? And the Patriots Prayer Network. Okay? Let's get that straight. But the thing is I said earlier, I bet you I could describe you without ever having met you. And it took me 5 minutes to investigate this individual and find out I was right, because I almost said it online before I went to check myself before I said it, just in case I was wrong. I didn't want to just say it, but I assumed they were gay, and I assumed that they were part of that whole agenda thing. So remember, it said earlier that where's Alexandria, right? And first of all, he called Alexandria, but it has a crush on Alexandra for some reason, right? And then later on in the same comment, it says that I'm not a dude. So now all of a sudden everything else it said made sense. And I was exactly right, because that's what I was going to say. I was 100% right. It is so easy. You guys are such stereotypes. Break free of the mold. Part. Think for yourselves. Do your research. Stop saying what everyone else says. Come on, you look stupid. Just plain and simple, you look dumb.
You know, I had somebody ask me today, like how did you get so good at writing? And to be honest, like I'm not exactly sure how. I know that I have a drive to be independent. Like being part of groups, for the most part, has really irked me. Right? It's irked me the wrong way. Like I don't like being another brick in the wall. Like I don't even wear a uniform at work, even though they supply it. Like I'd rather wear my own clothes. Just be it something in my brain. It just bugs me. Like when we were searching for houses, we found this one house in a neighborhood, and it was one of those neighborhoods where all the houses looked the same, and it stressed me out and it freaked me out just driving into that neighborhood, being like, I can't live here. There's no way that I can do this because I'm just not that, right? I know that I'm a little bit weird. Like I'm not afraid to be weird.
Right.
I would rather stick to what I believe than twist what I believe in order to fit in with the group. For example, also today, I had more people. So this is going to be, you're going to agree with me, Eddie. Just stick with me here. Okay.
Go for it.
Because I was talking about the bankers and like how the American people are against the bankers and they're against the globalists and things like that. And so every time I comment a post similar to that, I get these ultra right-wing people who are like, you're too scared to say the Jews. And it's like, I don't really comment on it much, but I felt like I had to clarify it today because I get this comment so often. They're like, why don't you just say the Jews? And it's like, well, it's because I don't believe that. Even if the World Economic Forum and if all the global bankster people that I'm against, if all of them were 100% Jewish, I would still not say the Jews, because I've known so many Jews in my life. Like I've worked with Jews who have been, they're broke and they're just breaking tires with me in the heat, in the cold, all year long, struggling to survive exactly like I am. They're just people. And so when you lump all people in, it's as dumb as saying all white people are colonizers, or all natives are this, or all Mexicans are, whatever it is. It's the same exact line of thinking. Yes, it is the exact same line of thinking where when people say that it's the Jews, all they're saying is that's like a weird virtue signal to people in that online clique that has become more popular because of Twitter. Not because it like reinforces it, but because they have the opportunity to say it. And so people are finding these groups like the Nick Fuentes types, right? Where they're like, it's where it's popular to blame everything on the Jews instead of actually blaming people for their evil doings. Like, I'm not afraid to call someone out
individually.
Yes. I'm not afraid to call someone out if they're doing evil things. I have no problem with that. But I don't believe that the reason they're doing those things is because they're Jewish or because they're a pope. Like, I'll call out the pope. I'll call out a priest if they're doing evil things. I don't care. You're not going to hide behind your... Yes.
Right.
You're not going to hide behind your religion or your skin color in order to avoid criticism. Like, I'm not about that. But at the same token, I'm not going to condemn you for being of that group, because that is the exact same line of thinking that has led to so many problems in the past. So it's one of those things where it's like, I roll my eyes every time I see those comments.
Democrats do leverage those things. The left, the political left, leverages those things. This is exactly what he does. This is why Joe Biden played on the race of the Supreme Court justice he appointed, Ketanji Jackson Brown. This is why he chose a gay black woman as his press secretary. This is why he chose an Indian woman as his vice president. This is exactly. But if you look at his earlier rhetoric and the things that he stated, it was completely 180 degrees in the opposite directions. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Poor kids are just as smart as white kids.
And
I don't wanna
talented.
live in a racial
Poor kids are
jungle.
just as smart and talented as white kids.
The most racial rhetoric. And you see, you can't go into a 7-Eleven without or call about your credit card without talking to someone with an Indian accent. I mean, giving a speech at Robert Winger's funeral, who was a very high up person, not a grand wizard, but he was a very high up person in the KKK.
Yeah.
He called him a great man and a mentor in the eulogy he gave. You don't just give the eulogy if you're just someone I know, a little bit. We're acquaintances. I'm going to give you a eulogy. No, Biden gave his eulogy, folks. Right? There's a big difference between just going to someone's funeral that you're associated with to pay respect and giving their eulogy. So they can try to spin it any way they want to. This man was a damn racist, is a racist. If he even remembers that he was a racist, I don't know if he has moments of clarity.
His last name was Byrd.
Robert Byrd. Thank you. Byrd. Byrd. Yeah. That's right. I don't know why I said Winger. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, Byrd. And what'll happen is if you post that on Facebook or anywhere, they will immediately remove the post or they'll put a fact check thing on it. And they'll say, well, he's not a grand wizard. And they'll say like the whole statement is false based on the fact that many people were stating that Robert Byrd was a grand wizard in the KKK. So they make the whole thing you said and they label it false. He may not have been a grand wizard, but guys, go on Google and look. The guy was a very high-ranking member of the KKK his entire time in government, all of that. And he mentored Joe Biden. That is a fact.
Yeah. And I try to avoid that line of thinking in general. So when because being politically right as of right now gets me a lot of people who believe that it's popular to be, and I don't want to say anti-Semitic because that word is thrown around so much, but what's that?
The dog is trying to come into the studio, but every time I look over and catch him, he runs away like he's going to get in trouble for coming in here while I'm filming. So I called him over.
Oh,
come here. Come here.
Eddie has some oversized dogs.
Hey, she's got her little dress on, man. Look, you gotta love the little dress. Oh, come here.
I don't know. I got two shepherds, man. I keep my dogs. My dogs are for home protection. Yeah. So they're well-trained shepherds that are loving to the family and feisty to outsiders, I'll say.
Well, she'll growl until you come near her, and then she'll run.
I don't even think I wear cowboy boots, and I'm pretty sure that
your boots probably bigger than her.
Yeah,
your boots probably bigger than her.
She couldn't get through the leather on the side, so I don't think I'd ever be worried about a little doggy dog like that. But everybody has dogs for different reasons, so to each his own. We're a free country, right? You're supposed to be able to have things like that, even if they're, like, in my mind, little dogs like that are ridiculous. I would never have one. I see no point in it.
About cats. That's how I feel about cats. I'm not a cat person. Yeah, Woody, I know you're a cat person. I see your posts. I know I look at them. I see your cat, your truck cat, and all that kind of stuff. I see it. My daughters are grown. They don't like spending time with dad. Like, come watch a movie. Like, no, I'm going to be with my friends. I'm leaving. I'm gone. And they're 20 years old now, and they, almost one. My oldest one's almost 30. We don't have kids to hang out with. So I got my damn dog, man. I'm expecting my grandson back here in less than a week, and I can't wait to have him around again. The energy's great. Keeps me young.
Yeah, well, that was like this weekend, man. I know that you had a really unique weekend, and I'm really happy for you, and you represented well, and so did Michaelah, representing the Patriots prayer well. But I'll tell you what, I had a blast this weekend because it was my son's 11th birthday party. We had a whole bunch of family and friends over.
I'll be honest, I was proud of you for that, dude. I'm just going to tell you right here now. I didn't tell you. It's not set up. These are not set up remarks or comments. I'm telling him right now for the first time. I thought about it even after we left, and I thought, man, he would love to be here. But I'm so damn proud that he chose to do the right thing and stay there and go to his son's birthday party. and it was really cool, that thing that you did. And like I said, God does everything for a reason. I didn't walk in the front door with Michaelah, because had I walked in the front door with Michaelah and the police wouldn't have stopped us from parking and doing all that other weird stuff to keep us out of the building, I would have never been escorted in by the state director and the Secret Service down into a tunnel. And the way that it happened, it was supposed to happen that way. If you were with me, it wouldn't happen that way. There would have been some other thing that took place. What happened happened. And as a result, I talked to Burt Jones today, or his people today, on the phone. He's going to be coming on the podcast. He's a lieutenant governor of Georgia, the good one, not Brian Kemp. Met Marjorie Taylor Greene, who also agreed to come on the podcast. And we are definitely going to have Trump on the podcast. That is a fact. Trump is going to keep his word. He said he'll do anything to help her. So, and she's got that number, bro. She's got that number. She could just,
bro. We're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do a live interview. We can't do it. If he wants to do anything to help her, it's got to be a live interview. So we're gonna have to fly out. We're gonna have to fly out and be there, and it's gonna be beautiful. But Leslie, you're right. So my son turned 11, and everybody was asking us, like, well, what is he into? I'm like, well, Nerf guns are always a safe bet, but he's into like Power World, and he likes football, and I don't know, just things that kids normally like. So everybody ended up getting him guns, Nerf guns, and holy crap, man, Nerf guns have gotten like really good. Like I was sniping kids from like, I don't know, 40 yards out. I mean, they shoot a long ways. It's insane.
They changed them a lot, didn't they? Yeah, I got one for my grandson. They really get out. Now, slight change of topic, but I want to put this out there. I want to put this out there because people love Michaelah, know Michaelah, they see Michaelah on TV, and a lot of people are wanting to help Michaelah. If you happen to be somebody who, wants to sponsor Conserve the Culture, and I would put it to you that you heard exactly, you've seen the interview. We're setting Michaelah up with a podcast set. She doesn't even have one yet, right? For all the people out there, that she got paid so much money by the Trump campaign to do all that. You're dead ass wrong. I was there. If you guys want to help and set that up with us, then please do. You can. And if you know somebody who would want to sponsor her, and you have this equipment and that sort of thing, and you send it to her, you'll get the sponsorship. So if you got cameras, microphones, the things that we need to set up her podcast, you do it. We're going to get it to her. And that's how we're going to get this thing off the ground. If not, me and Maurice are going to get it regardless. But if you can and you want to help, she would like it, and we will definitely pass that on to her, and it will go to good use. And just know this, the equipment that you use to send her will be used to interview some of the most influential people in politics, because they were up her wazoo all after that, wanting to know when her podcast was going live, what she was going to do, talking about mentoring her. She has all of their phone numbers. I'm not even kidding you, bro. I would love to have access to her Rolodex. Like, she's got all of their phone numbers. So,
well, and I'll tell you what, this is one of the reasons why Eddie and I started the Patriots Per Network, right? So we wanted to be able to give patriots, willing, competent patriots, a voice. And even if we're just the launching pad, like I wish the best for Michaelah. I want to do everything I can to help her out. I mean, if she takes off and goes 100 levels above us, good for her. Like, really, I hope that she does everything that she possibly can, because I believe what she believes in. And I see that fire in her. And if I can help in any way, and I know Eddie feels the exact same way, and this is why we've started this entire thing, is to give these other patriots a voice and to help prop them up and to really get these ideas rolling. You know, we're not funded like the Daily Wire was, right? The Daily Wire started off with millions of dollars in advertisements. That's how they were able to grow so fast. I'm not saying that they're bad people at the Daily Wire. I'm saying that
fighting for everything.
we're
fighting
average
for
Americans who are literally working day in and day out, spending time with our family. And, like this weekend, I mean, technically I lost a bunch of ad revenue by not posting virtually at all weekend, but I don't care about that because my life with my family is so much more important. And Michaelah getting her feet off the ground, like us having the chance now to give her that opportunity is a beautiful thing. And I'm so happy that I can be a part of that. And, like I said, Eddie is too. We talk about this.
Her loyalty is so much, dude, to take the time that she had on that stage with so many people asking things of her and whatnot. And there was a lot for her to turn around. Just watch. Just watch.
Now, why don't we jump right into it? See, as a young single mother, I can tell y'all that rank Chick-fil-A, but I am so much more than that. Not only do I serve as the CEO of Conserve the Culture, I am also the state director for Blexit down here in Georgia. I'm a Fulton County coordinator for America First Works, and I'm also launching a podcast on the Patriots Prayer Network.
So there's that, and then there's this. Because I don't know, the second time to me was even bigger because he was standing there and
really quick, Charlie, how do you get a segment on the network? I mean,
we'll talk to him about that. I'm already talking to him.
Send a DM, man. Okay. Yeah. If you're already talking to him, I mean, that's how you do it. Reach out.
Yep. Yeah. I'm talking to him. He hit me up earlier about making thumbnails and that sort of thing. And we're going to talk. We're going to talk. Isn't it?
We got no sound on this.
Is there no sound on that?
No sound.
Oh, that's weird. I chose for it to have sound. Let's try that again. So if I go here, have sound, there it is. Right. That now let's try it again.
Wave signs, get people out to the
We got
polls.
sound now.
At Conserve the Culture, because not only do I mobilize the HBCU students so that they may get this message, but I'm the best person when it comes to Black engagement in the Black community, and nobody needs this message more than my folks. So do y'all care for real? Are y'all with us for real? ConserveTheCulture.com for any and all inquiries. Y'all can follow me at Miss Kayla, baby. I'm gonna give it back to Big T.
Now, I'm going to tell you, watch this, right? So she's getting ready to go over and she's going to give Trump a hug. Now, right behind Trump, like I'm less than like maybe 10 feet or so from him right there on that shot. So what you don't see, what no one else sees because of the camera angle, is when she gives him the hug, she's looking over at me because she's looking over his shoulder. And I'm there like, don't forget about it. And this is what she does. Watch. What? There I am. She's seeing me. What? There she looked at me right there.
And last thing, make sure you guys tune in to my podcast dropping soon on the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That was awesome, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I'll carry that with me for the rest of my life, dude. That was an experience. And she called me out the blue. Obviously, finances were a concern. Flying at the last minute is not cheap. It's extremely expensive. And we thought we found plane tickets that were somewhat cheap. And then when you went to go, you looked and you get into that last page, them prices somehow or another, they figure some way to make them about at least 50% more than what that was in the when you looked at it at first. And I thought to myself, I said, I don't know if I'm going to go, man. I don't know. I don't know. And my wife goes, no, this is what you've been working for. I know, literally, she said, this is what you've been working for, dumbass. Like that. That's how she said it. But so I'm like, I'm tired. I've been up for this long. And she's like, you have to go. And I said, all right, I'm going to go. I'll sleep on the plane, which I didn't do. By the time I got here, I'd been up literally for 50 hours. I had no sleep at all. And I went, and I have to thank my wife for encouraging me to go when I didn't feel like going. And she pushed me, and I'm glad that she did. I'm glad that she did. And my God, dude, the guys just ate up my X page. I think I gained like 2,000 followers and 2,000 some odd followers in 24-hour period, just from her saying the name on there. And, you know, we're extremely grateful. And and that's why I think that, you know, for me anyway, I have an emotional attachment to her because, you know, I've known her so long. And when I see her, I see my daughter because I remember going to the school plays and seeing her on the stage doing her little thing. I you know, and maybe, you know, if I get a permission, I can show you guys some pictures. And but they, you know, it's why I don't like hearing people talk bad about her. And it affects me differently. I get a little, you know, like you're talking bad about.
And that's another thing is like, you know, the truth. And you know exactly who she is. And I mean, you've seen her since she was a little kid. So yeah, you have that protective instinct. And I mean, at least from what I've seen, generally people who don't have any substance to what they're saying will come at you with the personal attacks. Because I mean, I get that constantly. And it doesn't really affect me. I mean, clearly when you get thousands of people who are saying that you're a race traitor and an Apple and an Uncle Tonto and a Nazi and a white supremacist. And, you know, I mean, I could go on.
I told Kayla about that Uncle Tonto comment, and she spit on the bathroom mirror in the hotel. Could you not ask her about it when you talk to her next? I told her, she said, Uncle, that is one of the funniest that is just funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny.
It's gold, man. It's pretty
good.
Dan
says, I see my daughters too. This is great Patriot. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's the way we should all look at these, you know, women in general. We should look at them as mothers and daughters and cousins and wives, and not the way that, you know, they want us to see them or look at them or any of that. We really need, and I think that if we start treating them different, you know, on some level, and I'm not putting it all on men, but maybe if we start treating them different, maybe things could be different.
And there's more to life than sex.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing that, like, I mean, growing up, it seemed like that was the direction that the culture wanted to push somebody like me in, right? Like, I was an attractive kid and basically could have had my pick of all the women, right? But it never really felt right. And it just felt wrong. And so I didn't go down that route. Like I had small phases of being like a quote unquote player, but it was never like, you know, what I could have been and what society has been pushing men to be, which are these men who don't value women as anything more than sex objects. And it's like, no, like my wife is the most important woman in my life because she's made my house into a home. She literally created my son, right? Like, I gave her the recipe and then she baked him and popped him out, you know. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And so people see her being a stay-at-home mom as a bad thing somehow. I'm not sure. Like, I do everything in my power to make sure that her life is set up, and she does everything in her power to make sure my life is set up. We work as a team. And that is going to be what changes society, is when men and women start complementing each other again instead of competing as these opposing forces, because we're not. We're meant to be one. We are separate but equally valuable, and really we should be complementing each other and not fighting with each other. So
and I don't want to ever put the blame on any one gender either, because there are only two. I just want to put that out there as well. There's only two, men and women, because we each play a role in this, right? We each play a role. And I think that if one side or the other just kind of says, okay, I'm done with that whole thing, and maybe it will affect change, in the whole. And that's what we need, man. It's like everyone forgot about what, being decent and kind and treating one another with respect and honoring and, all of that is. It's just like, no, everybody wants to be the boss now. Hell, the women want to be the man, and the men want to be the damn women. We're all screwed up. It's crazy. And those that are in charge and know better, instead of trying to fix it, are exacerbating the issue and making it worse so that they can get political points and gain, ultimate power. And now they're letting, an immense amount of illegal immigrants into the country, which I think is, kind of it's not always going to work in their favor, because the people in the third world countries they're letting in don't have those values. They don't have those values. They don't like this stuff either. You think the people in those third world countries are mostly, very traditional, regardless of whatever else they are not going to like these types of, groups.
Or they're incredibly low IQ, useful idiots.
Yes,
because there's a lot of stupid people in the world, and I mean that literally, like low IQ stupid people, and when they can be more easily manipulated. And I think that these groups that have been funding these migration caravans that have been coming across the border, they target low IQ people to bring them up. So it's not good. They're not bringing their best, like what Donald Trump said. But
they're not.
It is about that time, you guys.
Yes, it is.
If you can, please share this video, and thank you for coming back and sticking with us, even though we did have those technical difficulties. I really do appreciate it. Hit the like button. Comment under the video if you can. Share the Rumble video so we get that out there. We are trying to build a following more on Rumble, because X is it's not been, X is it's just a different kind of platform. So as far as the podcast goes, we would like to grow it with as many people as we possibly can. So if you like what you hear, if you want to support us, and you can't do it financially, you can't sub to the channel or anything, then please share it. Please comment. Help the algorithm. Help push us out. Like I said, we're not funded by any corporations. We're two hardworking men that believe in a greater mission, and we're doing everything we can to answer the call. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you for the kind words earlier too, Woody, Farm Boy, D-Bamf, and as always, McGroin Nation. You guys, thank you so much for showing up and doing everything that you do. Join us Wednesday,
Leslie,
at 6 o'clock. Absolutely, Leslie. That's our bouncer right there, Leslie. Right there. Don't make me sick, Leslie, on you. So, guys, thank you so much. And as usual, the silent majority, you need to stop being silent and stand your ground, because evil will never retreat willingly. It must, in every case, be beaten back. We'll see you next time.
Trading good for evil.
This is the Patriots Prayer Podcast. It's a tremendous show, one of the greatest shows in the history of the world.
This is Bryson Gray, and you are watching the Patriots Prayer.
Before you go, America.